We're Fur. This is our first public performance, and you're very special people. Part of the draw.
Yeah, I was going to introduce you, but...
Ladies and gentlemen, Fur!
It's come to this. Over a smile, covering like a kiss. My heart beats down to my fingerbones. Feeling so lonely, feeling so all alone. And then I walk into the heart of the drum. Feel the rhythm in the center of the drum. Read the writing on the side of the drum. It says love, 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 love. 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 Oh, come on, baby, here we go. Stepping down the burning heart of rock and roll. My hands are cold, digging into the sand. Taking a deep breath, this is not my land. And then I walk into the heart of the drum. Feel the rhythm in the center of the drum. Read the writing on the side of the drum. It says love, 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 love. 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 Oh, come on, give it all to me. There's nothing left, this is all we see. My hands are cold, down to my fingerbones. Cover in darkness, baby, we're all alone. Then I walk into the heart of the drum. Feel the rhythm in the center of the drum. Read the writing on the side of the drum. It says love, 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 love. 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 And then I walk into the heart of the drum. Feel the rhythm in the center of the drum. Read the writing on the side of the drum. It says love, 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 love. 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 Love, 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 love.
In the winter of darkness, I dream of the summer of our innocence. Between steaming sheets of summer lust, I taste your sweat. This one's almost as old as Willie Alexander. This goes out to all my friends. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Ha!
Subway, Casablanca, looking right at you, dreaming of a paradise. Somewhere late at night, looking the platform, walking the platform. Do you wanna love me? Do you wanna track me down? Do you wanna love me? Do you wanna track me down? Blood running on the ground. Subway, station stop, with a drill, eyes are dry, looking up, calling to you, just please, it's the way I feel. Running the platform, looking the platform. Do you wanna love me? Do you wanna track me down? Do you wanna love me? Do you wanna track me down? Blood running on the ground.
Linda Fiennes wrote this one. You're going to see her later tonight with Crown Electric. You think you got it, girl. And well, I thought so too. But you're just a jumpman, yeah.
Bringing me bubbles and stone.
Bubbles and stuff. With sisters, schoolgirl, yeah. Working through each hour of the day. And you came on like a soldier boy.
Show me bills. The bottles and stones fall from my hands. Thank you very much. One fun in case you didn't know it. And Rich Casey on bass, he's going to sing this one. It's called Beautiful.
This one's about my mother.
Memory is made of this. Hey, thanks a lot. Nothing like a jolt to ease and bruise vocal cords. This is another song about sex. They're all about sex and love. This one's about... No, this one's about love. The next one's kind of about sex.
Mark Fry, yeah.
Okay, this is our last song. I'm from Brooklyn, and this goes out to anybody that's ever been there. It's called Big Brooklyn. In a subway car, stuck between stations. After a while, in conversation, that's what they asked me. It was like Did I have a car? And was there in a back? Oh, jacked up by a bird.